Tonight, we uncover elite Kunoichi spies, beautiful female ninjas disguised as maids and geisha, whose irresistible charm seduced war secrets from unsuspecting lords. Pretty ordinary girls mastered espionage. How did their soft smiles, gentle touches, and innocent eyes, as servants and entertainers, steal battle plans that changed Japan's fate? Discover hairpin tools hiding deadly powders, real missions as alluring maids and dancers that won wars through whispered intelligence, and Hollywood myths versus their masterful spycraft. Before relaxing, like if you love hidden history, subscribe for more sleep stories. Check Warrior playlists. Comment. Where are you from tonight? What time is it there? What era next? Now dim the lights. Close your eyes and get comfortable. We're getting started. Imagine you are walking through misty mountains in old Japan around the 1500s. The air is cool and quiet. Fog hides deep valleys where secret villages sit. These are homes of ninja clans, hidden groups of spies and scouts from places called Iga and Koga. Men trained hard to fight in shadows, but something special happens here. Ordinary girls from farm families or poor homes step into this world. They become Kunoichi, women ninjas. No one suspects them. Their gentle looks and soft voices hide sharp minds. Think about it. In a time when men rule with swords, these women use something stronger. Their beauty and charm become secret weapons. No one guards against a smile or a kind word from a young woman. You see a girl carrying water to a big castle. She looks like any servant, but her eyes watch everything. She hears plans whispered behind walls. This is the paradox that makes Kunoichi so powerful. What men see as weakness, they turn into strength. History whispers their names in old scrolls from the Sengoku time, the age of many wars between lords. Clans like Iga and Koga fight for powerful leaders called daimyo. They need eyes everywhere. Men ninjas climb walls and throw stars, but women go where walls mean nothing. They enter homes as helpers or dancers. Imagine the surprise of a proud lord. He shares secrets over tea with a pretty face across the table, never knowing danger sits so close. Records from that time, kept secret by ninja families, tell of girls trained from age 10. They learn to blend in any crowd. Japan then is a land of wooden castles, rice fields, and endless rivalries. Daimyo build armies, but information wins wars. Kunoichi provide that edge. One old story from Koga clan says a woman ninja slipped into an enemy camp as a cook. She learned attack plans from careless talks at dinner. Her report saved her clan. You feel the chill of night air as you picture this. Stars above, lanterns glow in distant villages. These women live double lives. By day, they wash clothes or tend gardens. By night, they remember every word heard. Their power comes from being unseen. In a world of strict rules, where women stay home, Kunoichi break those rules quietly. They use family ties too. A daughter visits a relative in another lord's house. No one questions her. She maps rooms, counts guards, notes weak spots. Ponder this, beauty disarms. A warrior drops his guard for a woman's laugh. This tactic works because society expects women to be harmless. Scrolls from ninja masters teach this first. Train the body, but master the face. Smile hides anger. Soft step hides purpose. Early Kunoichi come from real needs. Wars leave many orphans. Clans take them in, teach skills for survival. By 1550s, during big battles, their numbers grow. Lord Takeda Shingen, a famous war leader, uses them. His ally, a ninja chief, builds first teams of women spies. They travel in groups, looking like pilgrims on roads. Roads wind through forests, past shrines with stone foxes. You hear river water and bird calls. This peace hides tension. Every traveler might be a spy. Kunoichi carry baskets of herbs or cloth. Inside, small notes or maps. They meet allies at hidden spots, like under big cedar trees. Messages pass hand to hand. No swords drawn, no noise, just quiet exchanges. This method spreads from Iga Mountains to Koga Plains. Both clans compete, but share ways. Women ninjas become key in long games of lords' power struggles. Imagine lords in silk robes, plotting in halls with sliding doors. Servants pour sake, rice wine. One servant listens, remembers tones of voice, faces during talks. Later, she walks miles home, repeats all to clan elders. Her steps light on dirt paths. Moon lights her way. This is how secrets flow. Paradox again. In violent times, quiet wins. Kunoichi prove it. They are not fighters like samurai women, who swing naginata poles. No, their battlefield is conversation, glances, patience. History books from Edo time, after war's end, mention them rarely. Ninja ways stay secret, but family tales survive. Today, researchers find clues in old letters. One from 1570s describes a Kunoichi network saving a castle. She posed as merchant's wife, learned supply routes. Enemy attack failed. You relax deeper now as story unfolds slow. Feel mist on skin, hear distant flute. These women shape Japan without fame. Their tale starts here, in shadows of clans. This mystery pulls you in. What turns a simple girl into Shadow Master? The answer lies in hard training days. That secret born in tough lessons waits next. You find yourself deeper in those misty mountains now, drawn by the pull of hidden paths that wind through thick bamboo groves and over rushing streams. Dawn breaks slowly over the ninja villages of Iga and Koga, painting the wooden roofs of clustered huts in soft pink light that filters through lingering fog. Smoke rises lazily from simple open kitchens where pots of rice steam over low wood fires, filling the air with a warm, earthy smell. Young girls aged 10 or 12 gather quietly before the sun fully rises, their bare feet padding softly on dirt paths for the start of their daily routines. These are the true beginnings of Kunoichi training, a disciplined world completely apart from the loud sword drills and shouting matches of samurai boys training in nearby open fields. No clashing metal or battle cries echo here in these hidden valleys. Instead, stern masters teach the art of perfect silence as the very first and most important lesson, setting the tone for everything that follows. Imagine standing completely still as living statues for long hours, while colorful autumn leaves drift down gently all around you from tall, overhanging branches. The wind whispers softly through the bamboo groves nearby, carrying faint bird calls, but you make absolutely no sound yourself from rustling clothes or shifting feet. Your breath stays slow and even, matching the steady flow of the nearby river that carves through rocks below the village. This basic exercise builds endurance from the inside out, forming the solid foundation for all the ninja skills that will come later in harder tests. Girls run barefoot up steep rocky hills at night under a silver moon, carrying heavy woven baskets filled with smooth river stones to strengthen arms and backs. Their feet toughen naturally on rough trails covered in loose gravel and sharp roots, while legs grow strong and steady from the constant uphill climbs repeated night after night. By age 14, they master walking balanced across tight ropes strung high between sturdy oak trees, keeping full baskets of water perfectly steady on their heads without spilling even a single drop. This teaches total control over both body movements and wandering thoughts that might distract during real missions far from home. Ponder how utterly different this training path proves from the ways of samurai warriors across Japan, who swing heavy iron blades in wide open fields under the sun, always seeking honor through direct and visible fights. Kunoichi masters focus entirely on the world of shadows instead, where true strength hides patiently in stillness, observation, and unbreakable focus rather than raw muscle power. The villages themselves nestle deep in protected valleys surrounded by sheer cliffs and thick evergreen forests that block all outside views. Homes blend seamlessly with the natural landscape around them, with shingled roofs quickly covered in green moss and walls built from woven reeds and clay that match the surrounding earth tones perfectly. No bright clan banners or flags mark these secret places to draw unwanted eyes from passing travelers below. Entire families live closely together in these compounds, sharing simple evening meals of grilled river fish, steamed vegetables, and wild greens foraged fresh from nearby hillsides each morning. Training weaves naturally into everyday chores without pause or complaint from the girls. One sweeps the central yard clean with a bamboo broom, but her sharp eyes track the flight patterns of birds overhead to learn how wind shifts direction through the trees. Another carries heavy loads of laundry down winding paths to the cold mountain stream, practicing advanced memory games along the way by naming every single gray stone and sharp bend in the flowing water. Later that evening by firelight, she recites the entire path backward without missing even one detail, earning a nod for watching elders. Masters test this memory skill often and without warning during meals or rests. Forgetting just one small detail means repeating the full training exercise from dawn until dusk the very next day. Nights bring the deeper and more intense lessons under a canopy of bright stars that wheels slowly overhead. Girls learn to vanish completely into the surrounding darkness by rubbing thick wet mud carefully on their skin and plain clothes, mimicking the rough texture of tree bark or dark night soil from fields. They lie perfectly motionless as wild deer graze and pass just inches away through tall grass, keeping their hearts beating calm and steady even as hooves thud softly on the ground nearby. This core ninjutsu adapts perfectly for women, placing far more emphasis on quick wit, natural grace, and clever timing rather than displays of brute physical muscle. One key technique taught early is the silent crawl across open ground. On their bellies close to the earth, they inch forward through dense underbrush using only their arms to pull the body along smoothly like gliding snakes. The tall grass barely stirs or bends from their careful passage, even during thick fog when all shapes blur together into gray haze. They practice finding and snatching a single target leaf exactly 10 paces ahead without making the slightest rustle or snap of twigs under them. Success earns quiet words of praise from stone-faced elders watching from shadows, while any failure requires extra hours of repetition until perfection arrives. The simple daily diet supports this demanding life without excess or waste. Lean strength builds from plain rice, hearty beans, dug roots, and rare portions of deer meat brought back from skilled hunts in deep woods. Strong tea brewed from local mountain herbs keeps young minds razor-sharp through long nights. Sleep patterns train the body to rest deeply in very short bursts anywhere needed, preparing for missions without beds. Girls nap high in tree branches or directly on hard, uneven ground, always waking instantly alert at the softest sound from masters. Social rules from wider Japanese society shape much of the training approach as well, turning expected limits into hidden advantages. The culture expects all women to remain modest, quiet, and obedient in daily life, so kunoichi lessons build directly on those norms with perfection. They practice deep formal bows, soft-spoken answers, and downcast eyes that seem perfectly humble to outsiders. But behind those lowered gazes, their trained eyes observe every tiny detail, without pause-worn edges on sword hilts showing heavy use, slight limps in patrolling guards from old wounds, or nervous habits in visitors during talks. Masters stage full role-play sessions acting as suspicious lords and household servants to test reactions under pressure. A girl serves hot tea carefully without spilling a drop, all while listening closely to the battle plans spoken deliberately loud nearby. The next morning, she recites every single word and tone perfectly for review. This prepares them fully for the real dangers of actual work beyond the village walls. By age 16, more advanced physical skills begin to emerge through constant daily practice without breaks. Wall climbing uses long cloth ropes hidden cleverly inside wide sleeves of training robes, with small metal hooks that dig silently into wooden beams or stone cracks. They learn to drop from great heights, landing as softly as cats on packed dirt, knees bending perfectly to absorb all impact without noise. Poison lessons start very simple and safe, using common plants like monkshood that masters handle first to show proper care. They explain clearly how the roots turn into fine powders for coating thin needles, always in tiny measured doses, to cause sleep or mild sickness in distant foes rather than anything dramatic. Girls grind the herbs slowly by hand in stone mortar, learning to recognize every smell, color, and bitter taste by heart. They memorize full lists of natural antidotes just as thoroughly for their own protection during handling. Water training takes place in fast-rushing mountain rivers nearby, where they swim hard against strong currents while holding breath for long minutes underwater. They practice floating face down completely still, appearing lifeless if spotted from above during escapes. They emerge far downstream, only at preset signals like drawn-out owl hoots, echoing through trees, or quick flashes from firefly lanterns. Teamwork drills build trust next, with girls pairing up for complex tasks. One distracts a mock guard with cheerful everyday chatter about weather, while the other steals a practice scroll from a hidden belt pouch. They switch roles instantly without signals, succeeding only through perfect timing and faith in each other. Betraying a training partner even once destroys all respect earned so far in the village. Villages hold rare festivals to mark moon phases, pausing training briefly for group moon viewing under strung lanterns that glow warm in cool nights. Girls compose and share short haiku poems about moving shadows and hidden paths, keeping spirits balanced amid the daily hardness. Elders share oral tales of the very first kunoichi from centuries past, ordinary girls who first spied for clan survival when the ninja groups formed amid chaos long ago. Written records stay scarce on purpose, but these spoken stories endure strong through generations. One tale from the 1400s recounts a clever woman who crossed full enemy lines disguised in a large wedding group, traveling slowly by road. From casual wedding feast conversations around her, she memorized complete camp layouts and weak points. Her clan launched a precise dawn strike, using that exact knowledge gained so quietly. Winter training pushes limits further, with deep snow blanketing all mountain paths in thick white layers that muffle sounds. Girls learn to track animal prints through drifts without leaving their own visible trail behind them at all. They build temporary snow shelters completely invisible from main trails used by patrols, huddling inside through blizzards. Cold bites at exposed fingers and toes without mercy, but they press onward with steady focus regardless. Warmth always comes from the inner fire they cultivate, as masters repeat during pep talks by evening fires. Mind always conquers body through pure will alone in the end. Spring season shifts to careful flower studies in blooming meadows nearby, where colorful petals provide perfect color matches for dyeing camouflage cloths that blend with skin tones year-round. Summer nights fill with firefly jars, used for learning signal code-specific blink patterns, convey full messages across dark valleys without words. Fall brings thick leaf piles on forest floors that teach effective burial hides for waiting out searches. Body heat melting just enough snow or frost to stay comfortable. Every changing season adds new practical layers to their growing skill set without end. Rival samurai scouts from nearby lands test village borders occasionally, probing for weaknesses in the defenses. Girls always spot these intruders first from high hidden perches in trees or cliffs overlooking paths. They signal warnings with perfect bird calls imitated flawlessly, then vanish completely before any search parties spread out. No direct fights ever occur. Clever evasion always wins over foolish confrontation in their world. Powerful daimyo pay the clan solid gold for reliable services rendered over years. Part of those funds buys better training tools, while the rest feeds growing families through hard winters. Girls understand deeply from early lessons that their quiet work holds real power over distant battle outcomes. By their late teens, after years of steady progress, they stand fully ready for their first true missions beyond the safe mountains. But everyone faces a final solo test first, a full-night trek alone across rugged mountains to deliver an urgent message to a distant clan ally. They must avoid all roaming patrols along known routes and return safely with a written reply by the next dawn light. Passing this rite earns full status as a konoishi among peers, marked by a simple celebration of shared hot miso soup and a rare approving nod from the eldest master. No loud cheers or fanfare disrupt the valley peace, just a quiet shared pride that warms deeper than any fire. You feel the steady rhythm of this hidden life now, pulsing calm and even like distant drumbeats carried faintly on wind through the trees. Breath slows naturally to match theirs in your mind as the story flows onward. This intense training forges not just strong, flexible bodies, but unbreakable wills tempered through endless repetition and focus. These hard-won skills now open wide doors to the next step of perfect disguises that fool even the sharpest eyes. Women who master silence completely next learn to wear entire new faces, like changeable cloaks over their true selves. That fascinating path of layered deception calls gently onward, where their true power begins to unfold in a wider world beyond these peaceful valleys. Now you step from the training grounds into a world of woven faces and borrowed lives, where the skills just learned transform into everyday magic. Dawn light filters through paper screens in a ninja village hut as a young Kunoichi prepares for her first real disguise. She sits before a low mirror, combing long black hair into simple styles that match common village girls. No fancy jewels here, just practical pins that double as small tools for emergencies. Masters gather around, handing her a plain gray kimono, the kind worn by servants everywhere across Japan. This robe blends into any crowd like mist into hills, making her invisible among travelers and workers on dusty roads. You watch her practice different smiles in the mirror-worn ones, for friends she pretends to know, shy looks for strangers who might question her, curious glances for guards who need distracting. Each face pulls from real life she has observed during market days in nearby towns. Japan in the 1500s buzzes with travelers on dirt roads lined with rice fields, farmers hauling sacks of grain, priests carrying strings of wooden prayer beads, merchants pushing wooden carts full of cloth and pots. Kunoichis study them all during training walks, copying the way each group walks and talks to make disguises perfect. A servant girl sways her hips slightly while carrying heavy trays of food, keeping her eyes down, but her ears always open to conversations around her. This role opens doors to castle kitchens, where busy cooks gossip freely about their lord's plans and visitor schedules while chopping vegetables. Imagine entering a powerful daimyo's fortress through the back gates with a basket of fresh vegetables balanced on one arm, just like any daily delivery girl. Guards at the gate nod without a second look, used to seeing such familiar sights every morning. Inside the steamy kitchens, pots bubble over wood fires, and voices mix with the rhythmic sounds of knives chopping roots and herbs. She sets down her radishes near the cooks, then lingers casually by the door that leads to the main hall where lords meet. From there, she hears them argue over folded maps spread on low tables, troop numbers and attack dates slipping out in casual tones between sips of tea. Later, she slips away the same quiet way she came, all the vital information tucked safely in her sharp memory, with no trace left behind. This disguise works so well because society in that era sees women in service roles as just part of the walls and furniture, harmless and unnoticed. Another common and effective mask is that of the Maiko, the shrine maiden who serves at local temples across the countryside. Maiko wear simple white robes with red pants underneath, carrying small bells and decorative fans as part of their holy duties. They perform slow, graceful ritual dances to honor the gods, drawing crowds of pilgrims and local people to watch under shady trees. Kanoichi trained these exact dances during quiet village festivals back home, their feet gliding over packed dirt in perfect circles that tell ancient stories through movement alone. Grace and calm hide any deeper purpose from watchful eyes. Picture her arriving at a small roadside shrine near an enemy camp, her bundle of sacred paper charms slung over one shoulder like any traveling holy woman. She sweeps the stone steps clean with a broom made of bundled twigs, then chats easily with visitors who stop to pray and offer small coins into offering boxes. Soldiers on leave from nearby patrols spill news about their home villages and the routes they have taken recently, thinking her just a harmless priestess. The Maiko role proves perfect because holy women travel freely between towns and are trusted everywhere without question, welcomed at every gate and inn. No one ever bothers to search their bundles of sacred paper charms for anything suspicious. Inside those folded papers, she hides rolled maps or tiny written notes that will reach her clan later. One old story preserved in Iga clan family records tells of a Maiko who danced at a victory feast held by a rival lord to celebrate a recent battle win. While drums beat steadily in the background and guests clapped along, she carefully noted the colors of banners in the yard and counted the horses tied nearby. Her detailed report reached her own clan leaders before the feast had even ended, changing their plans just in time. Temples dot the entire landscape of Japan back then, with wooden halls topped by curved roofs that sweep upward like wings, and stone lanterns lining winding paths through cedar groves. Smoke from burning incense curls slowly upward, mixing with the fresh pine scent carried on mountain breezes. Kanoichi make good use of local festivals too, times when nobles and common people gather openly outdoors. During autumn moon viewings, she poses as an attendant, pouring warm sake for guests gathered under hanging lanterns that sway gently in the night wind. Laughter flows freely as the moon rises full and bright, loosening tongues among the men who drink. She remembers exactly who drinks the most and watches carefully for signs of worry or anger in their faces during conversations. Winter snow festivals create even more opportunities at hot spring inns scattered through snowy valleys, where women relax in separate bathing areas surrounded by steam rising from natural pools. They share stories from their villages there, tales that hide clever spy questions slipped in naturally about local news and travels. Spring brings cherry blossom picnics to riverbanks and hillsides, where groups spread mats under blooming trees. She joins them easily as a flower seller, with baskets overflowing with cut branches, heavy with pink petals that drift down like soft secrets on the breeze. Entertainer roles require the most practice of all, since these women perform songs, dances, or play flute music at private parties held by lords and rich merchants. Training for entertainers includes long voice lessons to produce soft melodies at calm entire rooms of tense guests after long days. Their instruments often hide secret compartments, hollow flute tubes perfect for carrying rolled messages, or fan sticks sharpened just enough for defense if needed. Imagine the bumpy road to a lord's evening party, traveling in a small wooden cart with a troupe of other performers, dressed in colorful layered robes with faces painted white in the traditional style of traveling actors. The laughter from rattling cartwheels helps mask any inner nerves as they approach the guarded gate. At the entrance, she performs a quick tune on her flute, charming the guards who wave the whole group through with smiles. Inside the grand hall, tatami reed mats feel soft under kneeling guests, with silk cushions arranged around low tables. She dances slowly in the center, her fans waving in patterns that secretly signal to any allies hidden in the watching crowd. All the while, her eyes scan the weapons displayed on walls and note possible escape routes through the adjoining gardens filled with lantern light. After her performance ends to polite applause, she slips to the kitchen pretending to be a tired performer resting, where she overhears servants repeating bits of noble conversations they picked up while serving. She leaves well before dawn, blending seamlessly into the crowds of other performers departing to the next town along the same road. This multi-layer approach of combining roles works wonders for gathering information without raising alarms. Daily life in villages and towns fills these disguises with authentic details that make them believable to anyone watching. Kunoichi visit local markets regularly during training, buying cloth that matches different regions' coarse rough weave for northern villages, finer silk blends for southern cities near the sea. They practice shifting accents too, a mountain twang like those from Iga areas, or flat steady tones common in Koga plains. Masters drill them in the everyday languages of trade and weather talk that start natural conversations anywhere in Japan. A simple question like, "Did the rain last night ruin your rice crop?" opens doors to hours of friendly chat with strangers. Family visits provide another deep layer of disguise for longer stays. Posing as a cousin or widowed sister-in-law, she can remain in a target household for weeks at a time, helping with daily chores like cooking simple meals or tending to young children. Natural bonds form over shared work, and aunties become trusted with laundry duties by streams, where women gather to wash and share family secrets openly while scrubbing clothes on wooden boards. Children often play innocent spy games without realizing it, babbling about their father's daily routines or where the household guards patrol at night. One tale from Koga clan elders describes a woman who stayed an entire month posing as a widowed sister returning home. During that time, she learned the Lord's personal habit of taking unguarded night walks along a certain garden path. Her clan later used that exact path for a quiet raid, gaining key supplies with no harm coming to her at all. Just pure information turned into gold. Travel groups prove essential too, since lone women traveling alone remain rare and suspicious in that era. Kunoichi joined larger groups of pilgrims heading to famous shrines, wedding processions with their festive energy, or trader wives accompanying husbands on business routes. Pilgrim robes hang loose and comfortable, ideal for hiding small tools or scrolls underneath layers. Their walking staffs double as supports with hidden blades inside for rare emergencies. Wedding groups move slowly, with red paper umbrellas shading the bride and sake bearers following behind, creating perfect cover. She carries ceremonial gifts in her bundles, noting the bride's family ties to potential enemies along the way. Trader wives haggle loudly over prices in market stalls, creating distractions, while a partner quietly scouts nearby areas for important details. Roads back then stay alive with activity. Post stations appear every few miles offering rest, with inns topped by thick straw roofs where stable boys feed tired horses. Travelers swap stories over bowls of hot soup at communal tables, and Kunoichi listen quietly from corners with plain, unremarkable faces that draw no attention. Weather conditions play a clever role in many disguises. Rain cloaks completely hide body shapes and allow secret talks under shared umbrellas, while fresh snow buries footprints perfectly for clean getaways. Masters teach how to pack for seasons. Wide summer fans useful for both cooling faces and as cutting tools if unfolded sharply. Thick winter scarves that muffle soft footsteps on crunchy frost. Urban disguises grow more common as towns and cities like Kyoto rise in size and importance during the warring times. Bustling Kyoto markets teem with silk sellers calling out prices and tea house girls balancing trays through crowds. Kunoichi pose as shop apprentices, learning the steady rhythms of looms to fake work convincingly while listening to customer talks. Tea houses serve fresh gossip along with their brew, where off-duty samurai unwind after patrols and boast openly about upcoming plans. She pours tea gracefully with a practiced smile, then vanishes smoothly into the night shift change with other workers. Countryside areas offer reliable farm girl masks for operations near castles. With a simple hoe in hand, she bends over fields planted with green shoots, waving friendly hellos to passing patrols while carefully noting their shift change times and numbers. Harvest season blends her in perfectly. As the curved sickle she carries doubles for gathering rice, or as an edged weapon hidden in plain sight. River crossings provide daily testing grounds too. Ferry maids pole flat boats across flowing waters, chatting casually with passengers about their destinations while memorizing faces and cargo details. The currents carry away any secrets heard upstream, leaving no traces behind. Back in the villages, masters simulate every possible disguise scenario, using mock-up setups of villages complete with volunteer fake guards role-playing suspicion. A girl picks her chosen role, executes a full day of practice movements and conversations, then faces a detailed debrief at night to review what worked well and any small slips made. They adjust techniques immediately for the next try, building flawless habits over time. Risks always exist in real missions, but thorough training cuts them down sharply. If caught once in a minor slip, the plan calls for denying everything calmly while pretending to cry from homesickness. A tactic society readily pities young women for without deeper questions. Escape routes stay built into every disguise from the start. Ponder the genius behind it all. Every disguise cleverly uses the strict rules of that era to maximum advantage. Women faced limits to mostly home and service roles, so Kunoichi quietly flood those exact spaces where no one bothers to watch closely. Even samurai wives, who train with long spears at home in their courtyards, cannot enter enemy castles easily on their own. Kunoichi slip in smoothly as maids or dancers every time, gaining access samurai women dream of. The contrast between expected roles and real power proves sharp and effective. Over many years of refinement, these disguises evolve from basic servant masks into complex layered identities, like a servant girl who also dances as a maiko on festival nights. Flexibility remains the absolute key to success in changing situations. One more advanced disguise involves posing as a beggar woman in tattered rags that hide rolled maps of riches or enemy routes underneath. A practiced limp fools even sharp-eyed guards into waving her through gates without checks. Old clan records kept by elders show success rates staying high across dozens of missions, which is why powerful daimyo willingly hire entire ninja clans, knowing this unmatched edge in information gathering. Villages celebrate these returns quietly, with shared cups of hot tea after a good report and exchanged haiku poems about clever shadows under the moon. The community stays tight-knit, with secrets shared only on a strict need-to-know basis to protect everyone involved. Market days in larger towns expand disguise auctions even further during busy trading seasons. Places like the port town of Sakai buzz with foreign Portuguese traders discussing new matchlock guns that make loud booms on battlefields. Kunoichi pose as wide-eyed curiosity seekers, asking innocent questions like, "What makes the gun boom so loud?" As guards explain proudly and accidentally reveal storage spots or training schedules nearby. Tea ceremony roles offer subtle long-term access to noble circles, where hosts prized graceful manners above all. She attends as a polite student learning the art, memorizing guest lists that reveal important family alliances through who attends and sits where. Fine ceramic bowls pass hand to hand during the ritual, while small talk flows into deeper revelations about politics. Childcare disguises allow stays of many months as wet nurses or playmates for noble children. Little ones babble freely about daily routes their fathers take or guard routines they see from windows, while mothers confide personal worries about husbands away at distant wars. Merchant disguises prove equally clever for urban work. Selling everyday hairpins or needles works perfectly, since those items hide tiny written messages rolled inside without notice. Haggling over prices naturally reveals details about army pay scales and supply costs from distracted buyers. Pilgrim routes to sacred sites remain golden opportunities for travel across provinces. Famous paths like the mountain trails to Kumano shrines fill with chanting walkers, where she collects rumors from fellow pilgrims resting at wayside springs between prayers. Wedding spy operations turn into treasure troves of information. Slow-moving brides' processions crawl through towns full of relatives and allies, where she notes lavish dowries that hint at family wealth ripe for future raids or alliances. Festival floats during summer events carry Kunoichi right into crowded town centers. As lantern carriers atop the swaying platforms, they hear everything shouted below amid the cheers and music filling night air. Firelight from hundreds of paper lanterns hides faces perfectly in the shadows. Innkeeper daughters welcome every traveler at roadside lodgings, cleaning guest rooms where they find dropped letters or notes slipped under rolled futon mats. Healer roles earn instant trust everywhere. Carrying baskets of herbs for common stomach aches or fevers, she asks careful questions that draw out news about troop sickness spreading through camps nearby. Washerwomen gathered at wide rivers hear the most unguarded talk of all soldiers washing dirty uniforms. Downstream complain openly about harsh officers and delayed supplies while soaping cloth. Flower arrangers gain entry to private ladies' quarters in castles. During ikebana lessons, where branches form patterns in vases, subtle spy questions hide among talks of vase styles and flower meanings. Silk weavers set up looms near army barracks, where the steady clicking rhythm lets conversations flow freely between workers and resting soldiers passing time. Post-runners' young helpers memorize the relay patterns of horses changing at stations, noting speeds and loads carried south. Fisherwomen at busy ports along coasts watch ships unload cargoes, counting crates and overhearing captains argue over payments. These endless roles weave a vast net of information across all of Japan, each new disguise building directly on knowledge shared back in the home villages through coded messages and returning scouts. You sink deeper into this steady rhythm now, as vivid scenes flow slow and calm like gentle bends in a winding river. Faces and roles change with every mission, but the core purpose remains unchanging and strong. These masterful masks unlock heavy doors to the real gathering of secrets themselves, where no disguise proves complete without the quiet art of listening deep in shadowed halls. That delicate craft of whispers, watchful eyes, and patient memory draws near next, building smoothly on the strong foundations already laid here. With disguises mastered like second skins, you now slip through guarded gates into the heart of enemy strongholds, where every whisper holds the weight of battles yet to come. Picture a moonless night in 1560s Japan, a Kunoichi dressed as a weary tea-house maid making her way along lantern-lit streets toward a daimyo's outer walls. Her basket swings gently with pots of fresh brew, steam rising faintly to blend with evening fog rolling off nearby rice paddies. Guards at the side entrance wave her through without question, expecting such routine deliveries before council meetings begin inside. She kneels in the shadows of a serving alcove just off the main hall, pouring hot tea silently for lords seated on silk cushions around polished tables. Voices rise and fall as maps unroll, fingers tracing river routes and mountain passes where armies plan to march next week. Her ears catch every detail, the lord's nephew boasting of new gunpowder stores hidden in village barns, another advisor mentioning scout reports from border hills showing weak patrols. She keeps her face neutral, refilling cups with steady hands while mentally mapping each name, number, and plan spoken in the room. No notes taken openly, just perfect recall trained through years of repetition back in the village. As the meeting breaks with lords retiring to private chambers, she gathers empty pots and glides out the same back path, information solid in her mind like carved stone. By dawn, miles away in Iga Hills, she repeats every word to clan elders gathered around a low fire, her report shaping counterplans that blunt the enemy advance before it starts. This quiet infiltration turns casual talks into clan lifelines, proving words sharper than any blade. Main halls in daimyo castles serve as gold mines for such work, long rooms divided by sliding paper screens painted with cranes and pines that muffle but never fully block sound. Kunoichi pose as cleaners between sessions, dusting shelves while fragments of strategy float through thin walls, debates over rice taxes funding mercenaries, alliances sealed over sake toasts. One Koga woman lingered as flower arranger near council doors, vase clippings hiding her position, while she memorized guest arrival times, revealing spy networks. Gardens attached to halls offer outer vantage points too. Posing as gardeners trimming bonsai under lantern glow, they overhear strolling lords venting frustrations to aides about supply shortages or trader whispers. Pebble paths crunch softly under Geta sandals, but trained ears pick tone shifts indicating lies from truth. Kitchens buzz constantly with servant chatter, the true underbelly of castle life where guards relax off duty over leftover rice balls and pickled radish. A cook's helper disguise places her chopping daikon roots amid steam clouds, catching tailies of patrol rotations from yawning sentries. Captain Tanaka drinks too much, sleeps through midnight watch every Tuesday. These details map blind spots perfectly for ninja teams. Storehouses nearby yield cargo manifests when she volunteers inventory help, counting arrow bundles and horse fodder sacks that signal upcoming campaigns. Bathhouses provide steamy confession spots. Attendant roles involve pouring hot water over noble backs, where loosened tongues spill family grudges or hidden gold caches during relaxed soaks. You feel the tension hum low now, like distant thunder over summer fields, as she navigates these layered spaces without a ripple. Observation sharpens every sense beyond hearing alone. Eyes track hand gestures during arguments. One lord taps table twice when lying about troop strength, a habit noted for future deceptions. Nose catches sense too, fresh ink on secret letters carried in sleeves, or gun oil on advisors fresh from armories. Touch registers paper quality in dropped notes. Thick rice paper means official orders, thin mulberry for personal bribes. Market visits outside walls gather wider nets. Posing as vegetable buyers, kunoichi haggle with farmers supplying castles, learning crop yields hinting at food stores for sieges. In talk with merchants reveals trade disruptions blocking iron for swords. Long-term plants yield deepest veins. Staying months as tutor to lords' daughters, she teaches simple poetry while daughters innocently share overheard father rants about rival weaknesses. Needlework circles with ladies-in-waiting turn into alliance maps as noble women complain of husbands' poor choices. Festivals pull targets outdoors. Moon viewing parties under cherry arcs let her serve sweets, catching slurred confessions amid poetry recitals. Firework nights at summer matsuri drown caution, lords wagering on displays while betting odds slip out about battle odds. Travel relays on post roads intercept couriers. Relay station maids feed horses and soup up riders, memorizing pouch seals and horse brands, tracing army movements. Team signals keep solo work linked. Fan waves in crowds mean target approaching. Bird calls from trees signal safe path ahead. Memory palaces anchor halls, mental rooms filled with faces as furniture, words hung like scrolls. Masters teach linking facts in chains. Lord's name to his limp, limp to favored horse, horse to stable guard's bribe habit. Review nightly imitates council voices, locking tones to details. Risks demand layered exits. If questioned sharply, feign fainting spell from overwork, drawing pity while slipping free. False trails confuse pursuers' dropped hairpins, lead to wrong villages. Ponder the patience required. Weeks yielding one key fact, traded like rare pearls back home. Daimyo courts swarm with rival spies too, so kunoichi spot them by overeager questions or mismatched accents. Counter them by feeding half-truths, like exaggerated crop failures panicking foes into early moves. Rural outposts differ from castles. Village headman's wife rolls access tax records in humble homes. Elder grumbles revealing levy shortfalls starving armies. Fisher hamlets by coasts note boat patrols, net halls hiding weapon crates. Mountain shrine keepers log pilgrim groups masking troops. Seasonal rhythms aid flow. Spring floods swell rivers, stranding travelers spilling roots at fords. Summer heat drives nobles to hill villas, lax guards chatting freely. Autumn harvests cluster workers sharing levy news. Winter snows confine inns, tailies piling like drifts. Tools enhance without notice. Rice scoop hollows hold rice paper notes. Cones with mirrored backs reflect documents. Language mastery covers dialects Kansai drawl for Osaka, Tohoku Burr for North. Codes weave casual talk. Cherry good this year means safe passage. Storm coming signals danger. Success builds clan ledgers thicker than castle walls. One chain from tea made to kitchen gossip traced powder kegs to a barn, raid seizing them pre-battle. Another from garden trimmer caught betrayal pact, heads rolling before plot hatched. Elders weigh reports by stars, plotting moves like shogi pieces. You drift with this current now, pulse slowing to match hidden heartbeats in shadowed corners. Breath evens as scenes unfold measured, each secret a stone smoothed by endless rivers. Yet some secrets prove too guarded for ears alone, demanding aids unseen but ever ready. Those hidden tools and clever powders wait in sleeves for moments whispers fail. That realm of quiet preparations draws close next, where defense blends seamless with the art of unseen protection. From the whispers gathered in shadowed halls, you now turn to the quiet companions, carry always close small tools born from nature and craft, hidden in plain sight like secrets within secrets. Dawn in a Koga village workshop sees a kanoisi at a low wooden bench, grinding dried roots under a smooth stone pestle, with steady circular motions that release faint herbal scents into the still air. Masters oversee as she mixes the fine powder with tree sap to form a sticky paste, perfect for coating slender sewing needles or hairpins she wears openly every day. These are not for open fights, but precise touches in rare close moments. A brush against a guard's hand during tea service causes deep sleep hours later, buying time for escape without alarm. Common plants like monkshood or nightshade provide bases, explained first as garden weeds before their hidden powers. Girls learn safe doses through taste tests on tongues, bitter signals marking strength, always paired with brewed antidotes from ginger roots kept in belt pouches. This knowledge turns fields into arsenals. Every hillside bloom a potential ally. Sewing kits hide deepest, thread strong as fishing line for climbing or binding, needles tipped ready from home mixes. Imagine her in a castle storeroom as linen mender, fixing torn guard tunics while slipping coated pins into hems that snag skin during wear. Sleeves conceal cloth darts, folded fans with edged ribs unfolding sharp. Rice paper scrolls roll tiny, tucked in hollow bamboo chopsticks carried to meals. One Iga tale, woman-coated flute reed with sleep dust, played lullaby at Lord's bedside talk, foes nodding off mid-sentence. Tools stay small, light for long treks iron caltrops, no bigger than peas scattered behind to lame pursuit horses on trails. Smoke pellets from pine resin burst clouds for diversions at gates, scents masked as cooking fires. You sense the calm precision now, hands moving sure as river carving stone over centuries. Bamboo tubes whistle signals across valleys, lengths tuned to mimic birds, 3 short blasts for all clear. Eggshells fill with pepper dust, crushed underfoot for blind stings during chases. Cloth wraps dye skin tones matching locals, washed off with vinegar. Mirrors and combs reflect over walls, glimpsing patrols unseen. Weights sewn in hems balance drops from roofs, landing silent. Herb pouches labeled tea blends carry truth powders loosening tongues over shared cups, questions flowing natural after sips. Seasonal crafts adapt needs. Spring nettles weave nets, lightweight for bird traps or face veils. Summer lotuses yield sticky sap for arrow glue. Autumn galls from oaks, crushed to black inks for night writing on bark. Winter pine gum seals waterproof nap cases. Masters test hides rigorously, shake robes violently. Nothing falls. Soak pouches in streams, contents dry. Role plays demand use. Guard grabs arm, respond with hidden trick, feign stumble. Success earns tool from master's kit, mark of trust. Village forges shape rare metal aids under night covers. Throwing stars fold flat as coins, edges filed keen. Claws grip walls, straps under nails. Poison blow tubes hide in flute ends. Rice grains tip propel darts 20 paces. Not for killing crowds, but single targets quiet. One Koga elder recounts dart-felled sentry dog barking alarm. Mission saved soundless. Lock picks from bent hair wires open chests holding ledgers, read by moonlight through cracks. Every tool teaches restraint overuse marks user. Codes govern. Sleep for escape, irritant for crowds, bind for captures rare. Training pairs tools with disguises. Myco bells ring hollow, notes inside. Entertainer fans slice paper clean. Market buys blend hair oil vials, hold acids etching wood marks. Food wrappers conceal caltrops among nuts. Travel staffs unscrew, compartments stacked. Weights balance exactly, no rattle. Risks shape designs. Brittle glass shatters quiet, but clay pots endure drops. Scentless mixes fool dogs, vinegar rinses traces. Antidotes always double carried, one crushed for quick swallow. Fail-safes abound. Dissolving threads drop decoys if caught. Elders review hauls, refine recipes yearly stronger sap, finer grinds. Rural crafts shine. River reeds flute darts. Mountain ferns irritant dusts. Sea snails venom extracts for coasts. Clan trades rare spices boosting potency. Bartered silent at borders. Girls etch personal marks on favorites, pride in craft. Ponder the elegance. Nature's gifts sharpened by hands, carried unseen. Daimyo fund rare imports, like Portuguese springs for trick boxes, but locals suffice most. Success stories circulate. Powder-tipped comb scratched foe's neck and pass by, raid timed perfect. Gardens yield endless foxglove slows hearts. Datura confuses minds hours. Urban tweaks emerge. Kyoto ink shops buy squid dyes invisible till heat reveals. Needle sellers stock hollows. Tea blends mask powders perfectly. Layering multiplies. Pin in hair holds dark tube. Fan ribs hide caltrops. Endless ingenuity. You relax into this flow now. Tools like extensions of will, quiet as breath. Yet single hands weave greater nets, one woman rising to lead them all. Her story gathers these threads into empire next, where tools meet grand design. From the quiet tools hidden in sleeves, you now shift to the stories that swirl around Kunoichi like mist around mountain peaks, separating glowing legends from the solid ground of history. Picture a modern movie screen flickering in a dark theater, where a woman in tight black clothes leaps from rooftops, her long hair whipping as she throws stars at foes in flashy fights. This image draws crowds worldwide, promising deadly seductresses who charm then strike with hidden blades. Hollywood paints Kunoichi as sexy killers, using beauty to lure lords into beds before poison kisses end their nights. Video games let players control them in skimpy outfits, slicing through armies with grace and fire. Books and comics add layers geisha ninjas with fans that shoot darts, dancing death in silk. These tailies explode in popularity from the 1980s onward, fueled by anime series where schoolgirl spies wield ancient powers. Think of it, global fans see them as superwomen, blending allure with assassin skills and vibrant colors. But here's what surprises many: these vivid pictures drift far from real scrolls kept by ninja families. Historical truth paints a calmer canvas, rooted in old letters and clan memories from the 1500s Sengoku Wars. Kunoichi focused on information, not blades. Records from Iga elders mention women gathering news as maids or shrine helpers, rarely touching weapons. One surviving note from 1570 describes a group reporting army sizes through market chats, no fights noted. Their strength lay in blending, using expected roles servants unseen, travelers trusted. Beauty helped, yes, drawing talks from guards, but as smiles over tea, not bedroom traps. Society norms aided. Men shared freely with harmless women, dropping hints over rice bowls. Poison appeared in stories, but as sleep aids for escapes, not murders. A Koga tale speaks of dust on pins causing naps in sentries, allowing safe passage. No grand kills, just quiet aids. You settle into this contrast now. Screen myths fading against parchment facts, like dawn light on night dreams. Modern hype starts post-World War II, when Japan rebuilt with ninja films starring heroic shadows. 1960s Ninja Wars movies added romance, women as lovers turned spies. 1980s American imports like Ninja Turtles cartoons mixed fun, but twisted women into fierce fighters. Manga exploded in 1990s Naruto, shows female ninjas in battles, power over subtlety. Games like Tenchu let players sneak as Kunoichi, but with exaggerated moves. Hollywood peaks with Kill Bill, drawing loose inspiration. These sell tickets by mixing sex appeal with action, tapping male fantasies of dangerous beauty. Stats show Ninja Media earns billions, women characters boosting views 30% per fan surveys. Reality grounds differently. Few names survive Mochizuki Chion leads, recruiter of orphans into spy nets, noted for organization, not kills. Her letters to Lord Takeda speak training in arts, sending girls as servants. No seduction claims there. Other hints: anonymous women in clan roles, listed by skills like memory or walk. Samurai records mention shadow wives feeding info, but vague. Archaeologists find no Kunoichi graves with weapons. Simple tools like pins turn up in villages. Oral tales from elders stress patience. Wait months for one word worth battles. Contrast sharp myths rush kills. Truth savors slow gains. Ponder the appeal. Myths thrill with forbidden's power, women breaking chains violently. Truth inspires quieter strength in wits, turning limits to ladders. Legends ignore risks too. Real Kunoichi faced home duties, family pulls, not lone wolf lives. Movies skip training grind, village ties. Exaggeration sells. One Hollywood trope has them in revealing clothes for distraction. History? Layered robes hid tools, modesty key disguise. Seduction myths stem from geisha confusion entertainers chatted lords. Some spied, but culture borrowed intimacy for pay. Real overlaps rare. Practical talks over music. Cultural shifts fuel fictions. Post-war Japan romanticized ninjas as rebels against tyranny. Women got empowered spins amid equality pushes. Global feminism adds layers. Kunoichi as proto-heroes, yet facts emerge slowly. 1990s, researchers like Anthony Cummins translate scrolls, finding domestic focus. Museums display pins, not swords. Interviews with clan descendants confirm. Grandmothers listened, didn't fight. Paradox delights, truth quieter, stronger. Myths fade under light, but spark interest leading to books. You breathe easier now, myths parting like clouds to reveal steady hills below. Modern retellings evolve too. Recent anime tones down sex, up smarts. Games add stealth puzzles matching history. Books like The Book of Ninja quote sources, balancing fun with facts. Legacy lives duel. Fantasy entertains, truth teaches resilience. Kunoichi prove power hides in plain sight, not flash. No need for skin or scream smile gathers more than sword. One woman's life weaves these threads tightest, rising from shadows to build networks spanning provinces. Her tale pulls next, where myth meets master reality in Mochizuki Chion's quiet command. From the myths cleared like morning fog, you now meet the woman who turns scattered skills into a woven web across Japan, her life bridging truth and quiet legend in the turbulent 1500s. Picture the rugged hills of Shinano, province around 1560, where Mochizuki Chion lives as wife to a skilled ninja leader named Mochizuki Nobamasu, serving under the powerful warlord Takeda Shingen. Tall pines sway in mountain winds around their sturdy wooden home, smoke curling from a central hearth where she tends simple meals of millet porridge and dried fish for the family. Nobumasu trains men in shadow arts for Takeda's campaigns, but tragedy strikes when he falls in battle against rivals, leaving Shion widowed amid war's chaos. Orphans flood roads then, girls from burned villages wandering hungry. Shingen notices her strength, summoning her to Kai Castle with its high stone walls and fluttering banners. He tasks her uniquely: build a network of young spies from these lost girls, using her wisdom to train them where men cannot tread. She bows deeply, accepting with steady voice her path as Kunoichi master beginning at age 30. You follow her return to Nazui village, a quiet mountain spot with clear streams and terraced fields, where she sets up a large inn-like compound disguised as a safe haven for orphans. Word spreads through ninja channels. Widows send daughters. Villagers offer girls aged 10 to 14 facing hardship. By 1564, over 200 gather under her care, housed in long rooms with futon mats and low tables for shared meals of rice, tofu, and mountain vegetables grown in nearby plots. Chiom teaches openly as sewing mistress and etiquette guide, girls stitching robes while learning poise, soft speech, and observant eyes. Behind closed shoshi screens at night, deeper lessons unfold. Memory drills reciting market routes, walk practices silent across creaky floors, disguise trials, swapping clothes and accents. She pairs them into teams, older girls mentoring young, building trust like family bonds over hot tea evenings. Nazue becomes Spy Academy veiled as girls' home, funded by Takeda's gold arriving in unmarked chests. Her strategies blend genius and care, turning war's wreckage into strength. Girls pose as pilgrims traveling Takeda's lands, visiting shrines and inns to map roads, count patrols, note supply caches in barns. Reports return via coded threads and cloth bolts. Sold at markets, red stitch means safe, blue signals danger. Chiom compiles ledgers in private room, her brush steady on rice paper under lantern light, patterns emerging of enemy moves. One success. A team reports Oda clan's river crossing weak. Takada ambushes successfully. She rotates girls to avoid suspicion, sending trained ones to Kyoto tea houses or coastal ports, gathering merchant gossip on Portuguese guns. Daily life balances rigor with warmth, morning chores sweeping paths, afternoon arts like flower arranging hiding signal studies, evening stories of past kunoichi, inspiring dreams. Discipline firm but fair. Failed memory test means extra drills. Success brings personal hairpin from her collection. Challenges test her resolve constantly. Girls homesick cry at night, missing mothers. Chiom comforts with arms and tailies of purpose greater than pain. Rivals suspect the inn, sending scouts. She welcomes them as travelers, feeding miso soup laced with questions drawing false leads. Takeda's wars demand more, pulling her closest trainees to front lines as servant spies in camps. One letter to Shingen details 300 missions run, networks spanning provinces. Family ties anchor her own daughters train lightly, nephews carry messages. Nazue thrives. Gardens expand with herbs for powders, looms weave hidden pockets, streams teach swimming escapes. Villagers see prosperous widow aiding poor, never guessing the flow of secrets shaping battles. You sense her calm command now, voice even as she directs like river guiding stones. By 1570s, as wars shift, her network peaks, feeding Takada edges in key fights like Nagashino where guns clash. Records scarce ninja secrecy, but Takeda's praise in letters calls her Shadow Mother. Post-Shingen, she adapts, dispersing girls to new lords or villages, Nazui Inn closing quietly. Legends claim 400 trained, but clan tailies settle on 200, impact vast. Her end fades gentle, old age in hills, girls visiting with children. Contrast myth's lone killers. Chiom builds community, mothers spies into women. Legacy ripples. Descendants preserve scrolls quoting her, eyes open, heart still, truth flows. Museums honor with replicas of her hairpin collection, pins tipped subtle. Modern books credit her pioneering role. Women-led intel rare then. Ponder her paradox. Widow turns lost to empire, teaching where swords fail. Her methods echo in later clans, networks enduring peace. Wider wars soon call these trained shadows to daimyo courts and battle edges, their gathered skills tested in Sengoku's storm. That era of clashing lords draws next, where Konochi threads weave through history's grand weave. From Mochizuki Chiyome's hidden academy, you now ride the winds of Sengoku, the age of warring states from 1467 to 1603, where Japan fractures into battling lords and Kanochi skills face their greatest trials amid clashing banners and marching feet. Picture 1575 near Nagashino Castle, smoke rising from fields where Takaida's red-armored troops face Oda Nobunaga's iron guns, barking fire in volleys that shatter cavalry charges. A Kunoichi slips through chaos as camp washer, rogues muddied from streams, carrying baskets of soiled uniforms from fallen scouts. Sentries barely glance, focused on horizon drums. Among laundry piles by riverbank tents, she sorts cloaks revealing hidden map pouches sewn inside linings, notes troop positions marked in faded ink. Guards chat nearby of powder keg shortages, horses lame from rushed marshes details, racing back to Takeda lines via bird signals from hilltops. Her report shifts night raids, targeting weak flanks before dawn fog lifts. Sengoku demands such edges, lords like Oda rising through ruthless info wars, castles swapping hands yearly. You trace her path through daimyo courts first, power hubs where alliances form over tea and treachery brews behind smiles. In Oda's Azu Castle, with its golden roofs gleaming over Lake Biwa, she enters as distant cousin to a minor wife, gifted silk weaver staying months. Ladies' quarters hung with loom clicks, and gossip wives lament husbands' mistresses spying for rivals. Daughters recite overheard war council fragments from peeking screens. She weaves coded patterns into bolts sent home. Zigzag threads mean ally switch. Spirals signal gold shipments. Oda's court buzzes Portuguese traders hawking matchlocks. Her chats as tea pourer drawing barrel counts and firing rates disguised as curiosity. Rival Wasubi clan's Kasugayama sees her as shrine pilgrim, mapping snow-blocked passes where armies stall winters. Reports flow to clan ledgers, predicting moves like Kawana Kajima clashes where rivers run red. Battle edges sharpen rolls further, camps sprawling across valleys with cook fires dotting nights. Posing as merchant's daughter selling rice balls, she notes tent layouts by clan crests fluttering on poles red sun for Takeda, gold fans for Tokugawa. Sentries trade sake for news of home villages, revealing morale cracks from unpaid rice stipends. Night watches cycle predictable. Dawn reliefs linger breakfast fires, midnight drowsy from patrols. 1582 tale from Iga. Woman in Yamazaki fields as water carrier learns Toyotomi advance routes from thirsty Ashigaru foot soldiers. Clan ambushing supply trains days later. Sieges test endurance longest. Surrounded Osaka Castle 1614, sees her inside as servant. Rationing whispers from starving guards, east wall crumbling, sappers near. Outsiders relay via thrown rice sacks over moats. Contrast with samurai women marks Kanoichi unique. Ono women wield naginata spears defending homes, fierce in kimono defending keeps like Aizu 1868, but castles bar them entry. Kunoichi flood servant paths instead. Daimyo wives, like neighing Tokugawa host tea, confiding alliance woes to harmless maids. Onimusha train dojos swing Bakken wooden swords, yet lack spy nets. Kanoichi bridge gaps, info flowing where blades cannot. Logistics webs sustain armies, her targets. Coastal Hakata ports watch Korean invasion fleets 1592. Fisherwife guys counting warships by hull shapes flat for troops, high for rice. Inland granaries yield levy tallies from farmer talks. Forge villages clang hammers. Apprentice rolls learn sword output by coal smoke plumes. Post roads chain stations, relay maids timing horse changes tracing lord progresses. Risks peak in crossfires. Captured spies face torture threats, but denials hold simple traveler pity freeing most. Failed plants mean clan feuds, villages burned. Yet successes mount. 1590 Otawara siege intel spots escape tunnels, siege tightens. Tokugawa Ieyasu's rise owes shadows Kunoichi map Sekigahara, plain 1600, noting Mori delays sealing victory. Seasons shape ops. Spring mud bogs guns, summer typhoons sink fleets. Autumn fog hides crosses, winter snows freeze rivers. Codes adapt. Snowflake embroidery means pass blocked. Tools shine sleep pins quiet sentries. Smoke diversions cover retreats. Teams link. One distracts quartermaster haggling, partner palms ledger. You feel Era's pulse now, steady amid chaos like heart under armor. Lords unify under Tokugawa 1603, wars fading, but skills adapt. Peace brings home pulls, yet shadows linger in new courts. Family duties call these war-worn women back to villages next, balancing secrets with rice paddies and cradles in quiet valleys. With Sengoku storms fading into peace under Tokugawa rule around 1603, you now settle into the quiet hearths of ninja villages, where Kunoichi return from missions to balance shadows with the warmth of rice, steam, and children's laughter, weaving secret lives amid everyday routines. Picture a crisp autumn morning in Iga Valley, mist clinging to thatched roofs as a Kunoichi named Hana steps through her wooden gate after months away, her plane travel robes dusty from roads. Her husband, a fellow clan scout, greets her with a simple nod at the door, while two young daughters aged 5 and 7 rush out barefoot, arms wide for hugs that smell of pine trails and wild herbs. The home sits modest on a hillside terrace central Irori hearth, sunk in earthen floor for cooking. Shoshi screens dividing sleeping areas with rolled futons, small garden out back, yielding radishes and greens. Hana kneels to embrace them, whispering village news while scanning faces for changes, her trained eyes noting daughter's new grade skill from mother-in-law's teaching. Family anchors pull strong after wars pull, grounding spies in routines that recharge weary minds. Daily chores blend seamlessly with subtle practice, keeping edges sharp without village notice. Hana joins neighbors at the stream for laundry, wooden bats thumping wet cloth on rocks as women share tea from gourds. Casual talk masking coded updates. Cherry crop heavy this year, signals safe borders. Back home, she sweeps packed dirt yard with bamboo broom, steps silent as training, while daughters mimic piling leaves into hide spots for games. Kitchen duties teach youngest herbs sorting safe mints from sleep roots, fingers nimble for future pins. Husband repairs tools by firelight, her input on blade balances from missions shared in low voices after children sleep. Meals gather all. Simmered tofu, pickled plums, rice from clan stores, bowls passed with smiles, hiding recent raid tailies. Laughter flows over stories of clumsy patrols, bonds tightening family against outside storms. Children grow steeped in ways without full knowledge yet, play turning to lessons natural. Hana's elder daughter shadows market trips, memorizing vendor faces and stall counts as helping shop, basket swinging light. Younger chases fireflies summer nights. Jar blinks practicing signals back to mother. Sons from brother nearby learn differently. Boys climb trees for views. Girls master whispers. No force. Curiosity draws them. Elders watch grandkids during missions, passing oral lore through lullabies about clever foxes outwitting hunters. Family councils monthly under full moons, hearth smoke curling up, weighing duties, Hana's next plant, our husband's scout run. Decisions democratic, youngest voices heard on small matters. Marriage customs adapt clan needs, Unions strengthening ties. Hana wed young at 16 post-training test. Match arranged with Koga trader's son for route access. Love growing through shared secrets. Widows remarry clankin, preserving skills. Polygamy rare, but tolerated for heirs. Primary wives hold spy reigns. Childbirth pauses ops village midwives assist home births. Herbs easing pain. Newborns swaddled in hidden pocket robes. Mothers nurse during debriefs. Milk scent mixing with ink. Losses grieve quiet. Mission orphans adopted seamless, filling gaps. Home defenses layer subtle. Doors latch fishbone locks. Floors duckboards creak alarms. Gardens foxglove borders irritate intruders. Neighbors form watch rings. Erg calls warning strangers. Festivals bind community autumn rice harvest dances. Girls in yukata whirling fans signaling fun. Husbands judging best steps, hiding skill ranks. Spring shrine walks. Families picnicking matsuri foods. Eyes scanning pilgrims for tales. Weddings unite clans. Brides carrying message bolts in hems. Challenges tug constant. Homesick mission pulls verses. Child fevers needing care Hana once aborts plant for sick son. Clan understanding. Husbands jealous of road freedoms. Eased by trust earn joy gops. Elders pressure heirs. Girls balancing duty with dreams. Peace shifts roles. Less courts, more merchant spies. Home looms weaving trade codes. Cooking evolves new potato crops from Portuguese yield starch bombs. Daughters, grinding practice. Seasonal rhythms pace life. Winter huddles mend gear. Stories spun long nights. Spring planting hides maps under furrows. Summer streams wash tools. Kids floating message boats. Fall preserves stock powders in jars. Birthdays mark milestones. 10th year first solo memory run. 16th full status feast. Extended kin weave net wider. Aunts host girls' etiquette sleeps. Uncles boys' endurance. Cousins marry cross-clan. Bloodlines strong. Losses mourn communal funerals. Simple pine boxes hillside graves. Spirits honored ancestor shelves home altars. Heirlooms pass. Grandmother's hairpin to daughter. Etched missions. Ponder the strength. Families forge spies unbreakable. Love tempering steel. Daimyo peace demands vigilance still Tokugawa spies watch rivals. Konoichi merchant wives know. Hana ages graceful. Training granddaughter walks. Cycle renewing. Yet peace evolves roles further. Villages adapting to new merchant ways and hidden duties in quiet towns next, where old skills find fresh paths amid growing trade roads. As Tokugawa shoguns clamp peace across Japan, from 1603 onward into the long Edo era, stretching to 1868, you drift into ninja villages transforming under new rules, where swords rust in scabbards and konoichi skills pivot from battlefields to bustling trade roads, merchant whispers, and watchful eyes on shifting powers. Picture 1620s Iga Valley, golden rice swaying in terraced fields under clear skies, as Hana, now in her 40s, walks village paths with basket of dyed cloth bolts destined for Kyoto markets, her steps measured from years of silent treks. Tokugawa laws ban private armies, clans disbanding open spy nets, but shadows adapt quietly. Daimyos still scheme in castles. Merchants rise rich as samurai fall poor. New ports hum with Dutch ships unloading clocks and glass. Hana's home expands with loom room headed. Husband trading routes now carrying coated threads and fabric patterns sold to tea house owners who relay urban gossip back woven in hems. Peace demands vigilance differently. Watch shogunal inspectors touring provinces for disloyalty signs. Note Christian hideouts in fishing hamlets where forbidden crosses spark hunts. Map growing cities where ronin wander jobless plotting unrest. You settle into this evolved rhythm. Mornings starting with family breakfast of miso soup, ladled from iron pot over airori fire. Steam carrying kelp scent as daughters now teens help portion rice balls wrapped for road sellers. Hana oversees weaving apprentices from clan girls. Looms clacking steady in sunlit rooms, where patterns encode messages spiral motifs mean harbor busy, checkerboard signal inspector coming. Markets become new missions. Osaka stalls team silk buyers, her booth haggling prices, revealing die costs, tied to tax hikes squeezing lords. Neighbor aunties join as helpers, ears catching trader boasts of Nagasaki imports sugar lumps, hiding spy letters from foreign quarters. Back home evenings, a decode over green tea, rushes sketching port layouts from verbal clues. Husband scouts post roads, timing official relays, carrying shogun edicts, notes delays hinting northern unrest. Children weave in naturally. Elder daughter learns abacus from merchant math masking ledger counts. Son practices bird calls signaling carts. Festivals pulse life vibrantly now, cover for gatherings under festive guise. Summer Gion Matsuri in Kyoto pulls clans. Kunoichi, as float carriers hearing pilgrim rumors atop cheering crowds lanterns sway. Drums thump, whispers of famine in Tohoku provinces, slipping amid chants. Autumn moon viewings at shrines gather elders under lanterns. Haiku exchanged coding border watches. Moon full, river calm, clears paths. Spring cherry hanami picnics spread mats riverside. Noble ladies confiding crock woes to servant girls pouring sake. Hanami revealing levee pressures. Winter snow festivals light bonfires. Storyteller roles slipping cautionary tales of failed plots. Audiences nodding clues. Weddings bind merchant ties. Brides processions slow through towns. Kanoishi attendants noting dowries, signaling clan wealth shifts. Trade booms spawn urban plants. Edo's Nihonbashi Bridge hums fishmongers. Konosi, as vendor wives tallying hauls, hinting Navy builds mullet schools, thin means ships out. Yoshiwara Pleasure District tea servers chat samurai clients. Loosening tongues on promotion lists tied to shogun favor. Bookshops near temples stock woodblock prints. Apprentice rolls scanning for seditious poems mocking rulers. Kabuki theaters buzz post-performances. Costume vendors overhearing actor gossip from daimyo boxes. Post stations evolve key. Relay maids now track merchant caravans, carrying gold to Edo Castle, horse brands tracing loyalties. Ports like Nagasaki fence Dutch factors. Interpreter aides catching trade imbalance talks, fueling black markets. Challenges mount unique to peace. Strict class laws bar samurai merchant work. Kanoichi bridge via wife rolls owning shops legally. Christian hunts demand hiding converts in villages. Baptisms whispered streamside. Ronin influx sparks dojo spies, noting sword skills for potential rebels. Famine year 1780s test nets grain route maps save clans. Orphan intakes swell training pools. Fires ravage Edo wooden sprawl. Rebuild contracts reveal construction bribes. Travel permits tighten. Pilgrim guises fake stamps with wax seals mimicking officials. Seasonal ops deepen. Spring floods strand Edo ferries, stragglers spilling tax evasion tailies. Summer heat festivals drive bathhouse chats loose. Autumn typhoons wreck coasts, salvage rights hinting wrecks with cannon. Winter quarantines confine inns, plague rumors from healers. Tools adapt, ink powders now ripe on porcelain, surviving fires. Hollow chopsticks carry tea samples laced questions. Family evolves too. Grandchildren toddle loom feet, first words bird signals. Marriages merchant alliances, dowries loom tech. Elders retire teaching history scrolls unrolled hearthside. Losses mourned ancestor festivals, photos new era added shelves. Hana's daughter weds trader. Network expands Kyushu roots. Cultural shifts enrich. Tea ceremony masters host rivals. Konoichi students memorizing guest rosters. Ikebana schools encode flower counts messages. No theater backdrops hide meetings. Haiku contests cloak reports verse. Ukiyo-e print shops etch maps backgrounds. Economic webs tighten. Rice exchange Osaka pits. Broker aids noting futures bets signaling harvests. Moneylenders Abacus's click debts, Ronin tallies unrest. Pawnshops hold samurai heirlooms, values tracing falls. Government eyes pierce. Shogunal Metsuk spies Rome. Konuchi counter as informants feeding misinformation. Census takers visit. Inflated numbers hide clan sizes. Edict boards post laws. Readers noting changes. Rural holds strong. Farm wives levy chat streams. Tax hikes crop yields. Forge apprentices hammer counts sword repairs. Fisher nets haul spy floats coasts. Ponder adaptation genius. War skills merchant cloaks. Peace vigilance sharper. Daimyo plots simmer Osaka mansions. Kanoichi maids serving dango sweets drawing schemes. Tokugawa stability. Reads undercurrents Satsuma steel forges buzz. Mito scholars pen reform tracks. Villages prosper visibly. Bigger homes tile roofs. Clan schools teach reading for ledgers. Hana ages 60s. Mentoring great-granddaughter walks. Cycle unbroken. Yet whispers grow unrest seeds. Voices emerging forgotten shadows next. Their inner worlds through rare writings and echoes carrying forward. As Edo's merchant roads fade into Meiji reforms shaking Japan from 1868 onward, you now trace Kunoichi shadows stretching across centuries like roots under fertile soil, influencing arts, culture, and quiet lessons that echo in modern lives far from misty Ega hills. Picture 1870s, Tokyo streets buzzing with rickshaws and gas lamps. Former Kunoichi Hana's great-granddaughter Ayako, blending as seamstress shop owner, her nimble fingers stitching Western dresses, while ears catch officer talks of new conscript armies replacing samurai. Tokugawa falls, emperor restored, clans dissolve officially, but skills pass grandmother to granddaughter in whispers over tea sets, painted with subtle codes floral borders hiding old signals. Ayako's shop serves imperial wives, dress fittings drawing palace gossip on Satsuma rebellions, threads carrying reports to hidden clan remnants. Legacy lives domestic, recipes with herb mixes preserving powder knowledge, lullabies encoding memory games, heirloom pins displayed altars, etched faint mission marks. Museums emerge 1890s. Tokyo's Ninja Museum displaying replicas from clan donations, hairpins, fans, scrolls translated for scholars, proving women's roles. Ayako donates grandmother's comb, mirrored back reflecting documents, plaque noting Spy Aid Nagashino. You wander cultural threads first. Kabuki plays evolving from Edo shadows. 1700s Kunoichi no Yume. Stages woman spy dances fans slicing air. Crowds cheering grace over gore. Playwrights drawing clan consultants for authentic walks. No theater backdrops hide real meetings anymore, but applause honors roots. Ukiyo-e prints flood markets. Hakusai etching geisha with hidden blades. Titles like Shadow Flower, selling millions, inspiring global curiosity. Haiku masters weave ninja poems anthologies. Basho pens Old Pond, Frog jumps in, Kanochi waits, subtlety praised courts. Tea ceremonies honor, masters bowing, ninja style, poor silent. Ikebana schools teach shadow arrangements, sparse branches mimicking hides. Global ripples start 1800s. Dutch traders Nagasaki carry tailies home. Etchings, Japanese female spies in Amsterdam looks. Perry's 1853 ships hear rumors. Officers note ninja women. Journals published America. Post-Meiji, Japanese envoys Paris 1867 demo shadow art salons. Women vanishing smoke drawing gasps. World's Fair Chicago 1893 feature ninja shows. Kanochi descendants veiled faces performing rope walks. Literature blooms. Lafcadio Hearn 1890s. Kwaidan tailies blend myths facts. Women, spies charming yokai. English translations spark Western fascination. Modern media explodes legacy. 1910 silent films. Ninja no Onna. Box office hits. Graceful spies leaping roofs. 1950s black-white ninja boom post-war. Jiraiya series women aids key plots. 1960s color era. Shinobi no Mano stars heroine networks echoing Chion. Anime 1980s. Ninja Girl. Cartoons kids worldwide. Stealth puzzles teaching patience. Manga Basilisk. 2003 rivals warring clans. Kunoichi leads fierce loyal. Video games pioneer. Tenchu. 1998 stealth core. Ayam character millions play. Naruto. 1999 female ninjas powerhouses. Global billions views. Hollywood 47 Ronin. 2013 nods shadows. John Wick 4. 2023 Osaka sequence ninja women. Women empowerment arcs draw direct. 1970s Japan feminism sites. Kunoichi proto-feminists. Books, hidden heroines, bestsellers. Self-defense dojos teach Konochi katas, pinstrikes, evasion walks. Bookshelves fill The Female Ninja Handbook, 2010's Practical Stealth Modern Life. Anthony Cummins, In Search of the Ninja, 2008 translates scrolls, Chiom chapter viral. Museums multiply. Iga Ninja Museum 1964 tours ropes, women Dimas disguises. Koka Ninja Village replicas inns, actors Chiom recruits. Economic echoes persist. Tourism booms. Ninja villages host festivals. Kanochi cosplay draws youth. Merch pins, fans, gains billions yen. Training camps teach civilians memory, balance, corporate team builds. Literature academia. Harvard thesis Gender Ninja Espionage. Oxford Conferences scrolls. Personal lessons endure deepest. Patience beats force corporate execs, cite waiting tactics. Disguise aids sales. Adapt client faces. Networks power women business. LinkedIn Konochi circles mentor. Self-reliance. Single moms invoke orphan recruits grit. Ponder paradoxes enduring. Myths sexier. Truth resilient. Films exaggerate kills. Facts whisper wins. Beauty weapon then. Confidence now. Global icons. Wonder Woman draws Amazon ninjas. Black Widow. Kunoichi modern. Contemporary nods thrive. Beyond's shadow flowers. Video Kunoichi homage. K-pop idols dance fan katas. VR games immerse stealth lives. Netflix Age of Samurai. Accurate women roles praised. Family lines trace. Descendant CEOs, authors, teachers, crediting grandmother whispers. Ayako's line. Professor translates scrolls. TED Talk Forgotten Spies millions views. Cultural festivals peak. Annual Iga Ninja Festa. Parades, smoke shows, women leads. Cosplay worlds. Comic-Con Kunoichi booths packed. Academic rigor grows. DNA tests clan markers. Graves yield pins confirming roles. Carbon dating scrolls pins 1550s. Pop endures. Fortnite skins, Marvel Comics. Disney Ninja Princess, kids film. Quiet power defines. Unseen shapes seen. Legacy breeds villages, museums, screens, hearts. Shadows eternal. Voices emerge next. Rare writings echoes carrying inner worlds forward gentle close.